Hey guys, we are officially back into Star Wars Last Jedi, and I know some of you have been anxiously anticipating me getting back into The Last Jedi, while I have been anxiously searching for excuses to not get back into The Last Jedi. Unfortunately, I ran out of excuses. Before I do get started today, I do want to give a big shout out to my newest Patron supporter, David F. David, thank you so much for your support. Without patrons like you, I could not do this, and I truly, truly appreciate it. So now, let's get into this. Last time on the Anti-Tricker, well, the last two times, really, I was talking about Star Trek Discovery, and that kind of made me look forward to this video for reasons. But before I get started, I do need to make a couple of quick corrections. First, I mentioned that you could not ride a space horse bareback without a harness or bit at full gallop and jumping while evading space helicopter things. And while there is some doubt as to whether or not there was a saddle on the space horse at the beginning of the chase, it's clear that there was a saddle on the space horse at the end of the chase, because Rose removes the saddle to free the space horse. I didn't give any points based on the bareback part of it, so it doesn't really change anything, but thank you to Gozu Kuklat for pointing that out. Next, British Nerd pointed out that in the original trilogy, Han and Luke broke the law by shooting stormtroopers. Yeah, well, first of all, there were no innocent civilians killed by Luke and Han, at least not that I'm aware of. And when you're at war, it is not considered murder when you shoot an enemy soldier. However, there were no First Order troops at Canto Bight. Also, yeah, leave it to someone named British Nerd to be upset about stormtroopers of the Empire getting shot. You know, the Empire. Like, the British Empire. Yeah, I see what you're trying to do there, British Nerd. Finally, in this one I caught myself. When I was referring to Finn's gauge, well, it wasn't really Finn's gauge. It was Rose's gauge. Oops. But then none of the points that I gave on the gauge were based on whose hand they were on, so that doesn't really matter either. One other point to address. Sergeant Crumple asked me, why did the Return to Canto Bight score negative points? The fact is that when I was watching the film and we got to see the exterior of the jail, I felt a swelling of depression because I knew we were back on the pointless Rose Finn story. And honestly, I wanted to get back to the pointless Luke Ray story, or possibly even the pointless Poe Haldo story. On that note, since we are never going back to Canto Bight again, this lifts my spirits just enough to make it through the rest of the way through this crap fest of a film. Your second point about my points was that I gave 6 points for the likely abuse of the Canto Bight children when showing my edit of the film. And you said this broke my own rules. After all, I did say that for the most offensive content, I would only give 3 points. Well, first of all, let me point out that you are upset because you thought I was suggesting that child slavery and abuse was so bad that I could break my own rules to give extra negative points for it. So are you saying that child slavery is okay? Seriously, I did not break my rule. I gave 3 points for the fact that Rose and Finn left the children to die. 2 points for the fact that they never even address it in the film. And 1 point for the fact that DJ and BB-8 just kind of show up ex machina. Granted, that particular point I gave a little bit early, but it's the thought that counts, right? I was actually, when I was putting the video together, I meant to put the little ding in the point right after I say that, oh, look, DJ and BB-8 are buddies now. But I accidentally put the bell in early, and I just said, whatever. It's not like Sergeant Cumple's going to care. Boy, I guess I was wrong about that. Anyway, we are now 100% done with Canto Bight, so now I'm sure that the movie is going to get much better. So now we go back to Ahch-To for more of whatever this is supposed to be with Rey and Luke. Well, Luke, anyway. He's wandering around at night and goes to the rock where Rey was sitting earlier. He puts his hand on the rock and closes his eyes. I guess he is reconnecting himself to the Force or something. The camera pans down, showing the water over the mosaic vibrating as Luke, Yeah, I guess he's plugging back in. Whatever. I might be excited about this if they gave me some reason, any reason, that I should care about Luke at this point. Meanwhile, on the Raddus, Leia is still in bed. Back on Ahch-To, Luke is now thinking really hard, I guess. Leia says Luke, and Luke says Leia. I have to say, this sequence was well shot, acted, and edited, but I just don't care at this point. They have given me zero reason to care what Luke is thinking about, because it is clear that he does not give a shit about the people that he's around, and he's fine with Snoke and Kylo taking over the galaxy. So why should this little moment with his sister mean anything? I mean, really, what the Rey is also apparently can't sleep and is wandering around the island because why not? And she gets another Skype call from Kylo, only this time he's shirtless because, wait, this is a Force Skype call. So yeah, because the Force, yeah.
I'd rather not do this now.
Yeah, me too.
Why did you hate your father? Do you have something, a cowl or something you could put on? Why did you hate your father? Give me an honest answer. You had a father who loved you. He gave a damn about you.
I didn't hate him.
Then why?
Why what?
So you notice once again that Rey is the one being emotional, irrational, and just plain angry, while Kylo is cool, calm, and honest.
Your parents threw you away like garbage.
They didn't.
They did, but you can't stop needing them. It's your greatest weakness. Looking for them everywhere. In Han Solo, now in Skywalker. Did he tell you what happened that night?
We are getting to the second part of our little he said, she said clip fest that like what we got from before. Now, we're going to get Kylo's version.
He had sensed my power, as he senses yours, and he feared it.
And let me tell you what's wrong with this. Kylo's version seems much more consistent with Kylo's character. Kylo we've seen act out in anger when he's frustrated, but in every case, he only destroys inanimate objects. He never deals with people in outbursts like that. As much as people like to say that Kylo is a whiny, spoiled brat, he has more self-control than any other character we've seen in this film. And he's supposed to be the out-of-control bad guy. F*** you, Rian Johnson. F*** you to... Rey storms off in a huff because, well, why does she storm off in a huff? She's not with anyone. There's nothing around her. What is she storming off to exactly? The Force? Oh, yeah, it is the Force, because Rey ends up storming off to the space anus. Having never penetrated a space anus before, Rey kneels down and gently caresses the anus. But then a rush of air comes out of the anus into Rey's face, which makes her lose her balance and she falls into the anus. Okay, I know some of you are thinking that I took that way too far, but that is exactly what happened. So Rey is now inside of the anus. She falls into the water and it's all wet. Rey is completely dry. Rey is all wet. Rey is dry except that her hair is damp and standing in front of a space anus crack crystal with infinite reflections, kind of. A lot of people have put out detailed analyses of the deeper meaning of this scene. How Rey is being shown by the dark side anus that she needs to stop searching for something that's already within her or some crap like that. But frankly, at this point, I don't care. Rey has not struggled with anything so far. She masters a lightsaber just by picking it up. She masters the Jedi mind trick just by using it. Luke's teaching so far has just been a couple of superficial conversations about how the Force is a natural energy field and the Jedi suck, and that's about it. And are we supposed to feel Rey's struggle? She has not struggled. They just bring it up every now and then so that they can say,
see, she is struggling with not knowing who her parents are.
But this does not impede her ability to move forward. She still wins at everything she does. Rian Johnson does not seem to understand that just wondering about something that you do not have all the answers to is not drama, especially when you're going to take a dump all over that same question later anyway. So Rey asks the Dark Crystal who are her parents, and a pair of shadowy figures begin to walk towards her. So finally, Rian is going to answer one of the big mysteries from The Force Awakens, and... you, Rian Johnson. So Rey is all depressed and she Skype calls with Kylo again? Huh? Wait, so now she does not hate him? Wait, huh? How does this make any sense? Every single time we saw them before, just a few minutes ago, she was spitting hate at him, but now they're buddies? Now she can confide in him? Oh, wait, I get it. Since she voluntarily walked into the dark side, she's evil now, right? And no, she's just buddies with him. What the f... Well, Luke is now all worried about Rey because why not? After all, it's not like Rey has ever been tempted by the dark side before, right? Rey and Kylo are touching hands through the Force Skype call because, you know, you can do that now. And Luke busts in to stop the kids before Kylo can get to second base. Using the Force, Luke does what any smart Jedi would do. He separates Rey and Kylo and he destroys his stone hut for no reason. Kylo disappears for no reason, and Rey is now asking Luke if it's true that he tried to murder Kylo. Well, Luke uses his tried and true technique of telling Rey to leave and storming off. But this time, Rey is pissed off, so she decides to beat the truth out of him. You know, like a Jedi would. Nothing like a Sith at all. Okay, look, I know that if Rey is overpowered is the subject of much debate. However, she just beat Luke Skywalker. After 2 lessons, now that she's holding a lightsaber to his face, she demands the truth. You know, like a Jedi would. And Luke gives it to her, you know, because he's afraid. Like a Jedi.
I saw darkness. I'd sensed it building. I'd seen it in moments during his training. Then I looked inside, and it was beyond what I ever imagined. For the briefest moment of pure instinct, I thought I could stop it. It passed like a fleeting shadow. And the last thing I saw were the eyes of a frightened boy whose master had failed him.
Look, okay, look, look, I'm trying to find a way to put this into words that does not involve my channel getting flagged. I actually think that this scene offers a nice insight into the mind of Rian Johnson, and perhaps fundamentally why this film is so divisive. We have the classic he said, she said storyline. The classic trope goes as follows. Person A gives the story based on person A's perspective. In this case, Luke saying that Kylo attacked him unprovoked. Person B gives the story based on person B's perspective. Kylo says that Luke was standing over Kylo ready to kill him, and Kylo simply defended himself. We then have to find out that the truth is actually halfway in between. And herein lays the problem. The truth about what happened is that Kylo's story was 100% correct, except that Kylo did not know that Luke had changed his mind about killing him. So Luke is supposed to be relatively innocent because he changed his mind? Look, if I sneak into the bedroom of a sleeping child, grab a sword, and hold it above the child ready to strike, but at the last second I change my mind, then the police bust in and arrest me, am I guilty of attempted murder? Yes! This is not some misunderstanding. Luke was willing to kill his nephew and almost did. So Luke Skywalker is not only a liar, a thief, a coward, but now we find out he's a murderer, or at least an attempted murderer. Luke Skywalker is now officially the villain of this story. F*** you, Rian Johnson. So why was I saying this gets into the psychology of Rian Johnson? Well, you see, from his perspective, the difference between what Kylo said and what Luke said, as far as not the first story that Luke said, but the second story where Luke revealed the truth of what happened, are supposed to be as different as from what Luke said the first time to what Luke said the second time. But they're not. In Rian Johnson's twisted mind, somehow Luke saying that, oh, I was going to kill him, but I decided not to, is like redeemable. That somehow his intention means more than his action. And that is the core of this story, because look at Kylo and Rey throughout this story. Rey is constantly pissed off, constantly using hate and anger in her fighting. But there's no consequence to that, because her intentions are noble. Kylo is cool, calm, and collected, and is trying to use the Force to gain wisdom and knowledge. And yet, because his intentions are quote-unquote evil, he's the dark side. So, in the mind of Rian Johnson, intent is more important than action. And I'm sorry, doesn't work that way. So Rey tries to convince Luke that there is still good in Kylo, and Luke Skywalker, the man who is willing to sacrifice himself to try and redeem Darth Vader, tells Rey to f off. Rey insists that Kylo can be turned to the light, and Luke just lays there, defeated, broken, wallowing in self-pity. You know, like a Jedi. So Rey leaves Ahch-To. Too bad she never got to Lesson 3. Yeah, I was really wondering what Lesson 3 was. Oh well. Subversion. Yay.
Hit the like button, you will. Likes lead to comments. Comments lead to conversations. Conversations lead to understanding. Go to Patreon and support the anti-trucker, you must, if supporting his videos you want. Yes, support his videos. Then listen to this at the end of the videos. You will not